Cryptozoology is, by its very nature, elusive. Thus, we cannot say that we are exactly bringing you the facts, but we will do our best to help you see these mythical legends as we do. So sit back, relax, and wait. What's that behind you? Never mind. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Cryptids on Cryptids. I'm Martin,
I'm Sid.
and what are we talking about this week?
We got the Loveland Frog this week. I got a hometown boy. He's from Loveland, Ohio, and he is a frog man.
Is he a frog man or is he just a frog?
See, people call him the Loveland Frog, but it varies between Loveland Frog and Loveland Frog Man. Just depends on, I guess, where you are.
Oh, okay. Either way, he's very slimy.
Uh, yeah, slimy may not
That's
be the
what I'm
best type of
hearing.
word, but
That's what I'm hearing is he's very slimy.
I wouldn't say he's very slimy. Uh, just because, I don't know, are frogs slimy?
You ever touched a frog? They're pretty slimy.
I've touched a frog.
They get slimy.
It could have been a toad.
And
Around,
probably toads are a lot drier.
yeah. We get a lot of rain around here recently, and I was working out in the basement, and I look up to, we have those, little window wells, that some basements
Uh-huh.
have, where you can, see out from your basement.
Yeah.
And a frog had fallen down into the window well, and had his little froggy hands up on the window, and was just staring at me, because he
That's
couldn't
very
get out,
cool.
you know?
I love seeing frogs. Frogs are honestly top 10 creatures.
I like frogs a lot.
Top
I
10 for sure.
I like frogs. I like you know what else I like that I feel like doesn't get enough love? Snakes. I like snakes.
Snakes? You know what? I could leave or take snakes, I'll be honest.
Snakes are cute. They got little
Snakes
noses.
are snakes.
They hang out.
I
Uh
just I feel like snakes they're best enjoyed while they're just doing their own. Don't get it near me. Is
yeah.
my stipulation with snakes. No,
I've
thank
held
you.
I've held a few snakes. They're fun. They just kind of curl around your wrist and hang out.
I mean, yeah, but if I'm gonna touch an animal, I don't want it to just be chilling on my arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I guess I like sugar gliders too, and little tiny little creatures that just hang out near you. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the interaction.
The
When you have
interaction.
a pet or an animal.
Yeah. They just kind of hang out, you know? You cohabitate. It's neat.
Oh, I'm thinking of more of an interaction than just cohabitating.
Oh.
Like petting a
Oh.
dog or,
Yeah. Well, you can pet a snake and you can pet a guinea pig.
you can, I guess.
Yeah, you can sketch their little heads. It's cute. I like them.
So what's up with this frog in Ohio?
Well, first off, he's not necessarily a frog.
Oh?
He is a humanoid creature standing roughly about 3 to 4 feet tall with leathery skin, like a frog face. So he's got those big bug eyes and the little frog
Does his throat stretch out?
snout. I don't know, but I can tell you there are wrinkles where their hair should be.
Excuse me?
There are wrinkles where their hair should be. So they do sort
No.
of give off the illusion that they are just a big Muppet.
I really don't like that there's wrinkles where there's hair should be.
Yeah, instead of hair, they got wrinkles.
Cause you think of a human, humans grow hair in a couple places.
Just the hair on top of their heads, not their whole body.
Okay.
Not their whole body. That'd be a bit weird, I feel
Okay.
like.
Just some lighter wrinkles on the arm.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd kind of be like if a Shih Tzu were a person, and that makes me uncomfortable.
I don't. I still don't like that it has wrinkles on, just a bunch of wrinkles on the top of its head.
Well, yeah, it's got
I'm
those
not a
there.
fan of that.
I think it makes them seem wizened, sort of.
Old. Yeah,
Old.
it gives the Don't go looking for the frog man right now. He's at risk of coronavirus.
Oh no! Oh no, that's not good at all.
No, not good.
Not good. Not good.
Hey, when can we start memeing on this virus? Is it when
Uh,
it's over? Or like after that?
I don't know. I know there's a vaccine that they have been talking about that's coming
They've
out
announced
sometime in
two
like
vaccines, yeah, with a 90 and 95% uh whatever rate,
success rate.
usefulness
That's
rate.
fantastic. Did you say
Yeah.
usefulness rate for a vaccine?
Here's the thing, Sid, is my sleep schedule is very bad. And I'm so tired.
I am on my third cup of coffee, so I am fucking feeling it.
I I've been going to bed at like reasonable person hours, but my body doesn't function on that time.
Yeah?
So it's like you got up at 6 in the morning today. You should go to bed now. And I'm like, but it's 3 p.m. And it's like, doesn't fucking matter. Go to
Time to
bed.
sleep.
Time to sleep.
I I feel that. I get up about 9 almost every day cuz I have like night classes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'll wake up, but my brain is at its top peak performance hours at like midnight to 1 a.m. So I'll be up at that time and still doing like stuff during the day, so I get roughly like 6 to 4 hours of sleep a night,
Yeah, it's not great.
which I mean I function pretty well on it. I just require a tremendous amount of food.
I
Uh
I don't know when it was.
mm,
Because maybe it was last year or even maybe this year, I don't know. But at some point my body decided you're too old to function on 4 hours of sleep. Cuz I did that throughout all of high school, my freshman year, my sophomore year,
yeah.
and then last year or this year, it just hit me and I'm like, fuck. 4 hours of sleep just ain't going to cut it anymore. So I've been sleeping a lot.
I tend to get like overtired where if I sleep longer than I should, I wake up more tired than I was when I went to bed.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
I just my body gets
It's a bad
frustrated.
system.
It wants
Human
6
bodies are a
hours
mess.
specifically, and if it doesn't get that, it's going to throw a fit. Uh human bodies are a mess. Human minds are a mess too. I'm going to be real with you, chief.
You know what? All humans are a mess. But you know what particular mess I'm fixated on is this frogman, because he sounds like a mess.
I mean, he kind of is. I think the part of me reads all these sightings and I read the histories and I'm like, I feel like seeing the frogman says more about the people who saw him than the frogman himself. I'm going to be real with you, chief.
You know what? I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
Because I'm going to start you off with some of the history of this guy, which is our first sighting, which is,
I'm still trying to wrap my head around how this thing looks. Can you?
well,
Okay. I don't. Is it like man sized?
it's 3 to 4 feet tall. So
Three to.
like
Okay. Wow. So
roughly
somewhere in
about the
between
size
man and frog.
of a child. Yeah. I don't know how big a child is, but I feel like they would roughly be about 3 to 4 feet tall.
Is that how big a child is?
I don't know.
Don't come to us with your
I
child
can
advice. We have none of it.
hang on. How tall is the average sixth grader?
See, sixth grader, I thought was maybe even too old
Okay,
as it for a child.
a sixth
So when I
grader
think child,
is
I
a
think like 5.
is about 5 feet. Let's say fourth grader.
Fourth grader, okay, like third, fourth grade.
Okay, okay,
Maybe that's how they came up with the grades, Sid.
yeah. Based on
That's just
Frogman,
how tall they are.
I mean that's tends to be how
You're
I
fourth
judge
grade, you're
age.
like 4 feet tall.
I tend to judge age based on height, which does tend to not go so great.
No, it does not. It does not.
Cause
See someone who's like 6'2", and you're like, fuck, you're old.
I mean, like if because I'm very bad at like looking at somebody and being like judging how old they are. Because I'm in college, you know, I assume everyone is roughly around my age. And so when I encounter people like out in the wild, like not in college,
Out in the wild is a very good way
Out in
talking
the
about it.
wild. So
Yeah.
like at the grocery store, like at a coffee shop or something, and I encounter someone and they are around my size, I just assume they're around my age. If they're taller, I'm like they're probably a little older. Like I have no judge of how old people are. So my
I think
only
that
hope,
really comes from being, you're young and everyone's taller than you. So
I mean,
just assume people who are taller than you are older than you. And
yeah,
then there gets a point where you realize that's not true anymore.
we're still reaching that point. I think it's cuz a lot of my friends too were all roughly around the same height. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this tracks. Like we're all the same age, same height. It's fine.
It's the same.
It's the same. It's the same. Cuz like a lot of my friends are turning 21, which is
21.
very
Sorry, I tried to quit the Vine, but it just doesn't go.
no, it doesn't. You can't ever stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It comes back and haunts you in your dreams.
We we've quoted Vines an upsettingly large amount of times while doing both this podcast and the stream.
Well, cuz they're
Just
important.
so many.
Someone needs to carry the legacy of Vine.
We were talking on stream about that road work ahead Vine.
God, dude, I sure hope it does.
I saw I was driving my brother. I was picking him up from because dorms are closing this week, so I was picking him up from his dorm yesterday, and we saw one of those signs, and I was like, "Road work ahead." Well, I sure hope it does, and it completely flew over his head, and I was like, "Fuck."
God.
Some people just the vines they hit different, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's like kind of like there's a point where it stops where they're like, ah, fuck, Vine was a thing, I guess.
Yeah, I have friends who reference TikToks like you reference Vines.
But TikToks don't have the same pervasiveness in culture. You know what I mean?
I think TikToks are more they're very very similar, but there is just like a slight overlap in between the two of them. That's this weird brand of like you are very familiar with 2013 and the random humor that accompanied that time period. Yeah?
Yeah, no, there was definitely.
I feel like that evolved and like matured almost into Vine, and then it's having a renaissance in the TikTok period.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think TikTok is the same.
I don't think it's the same, but I think it is sort of a reimagining of the original concept.
Yeah, but I think the energy that accompanies TikTok is very different than the energy that accompanied Vine. See, Vine had a very
Yes.
chaotic energy that I loved. I was a big fan. There's like like half the vines you watch were just screaming.
Yeah.
And I think because of that like 6 second like time cut,
Hmm.
there definitely were like it was so goddamn quotable, like any vine, because it's not a lot to remember. It's just 6 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
Whereas TikTok, I think there's a different like there's enough time in TikToks for you to have a narrative, which
I think
while entertaining and definitely memeable, is not as quotable and thus not as pervasive.
TikTok isn't necessarily as pervasive, but I feel like TikTok holds a certain type of like Vine was chaotic, yes, but TikTok is borderline unhinged because people will do stuff on TikTok that I probably would not tell my closest friends. Like
Yeah.
people will just air drama on TikTok and I'm like, "Hey, I don't know if that's legal that you just said and did that thing." Uh
Yeah.
and
Don't.
it depends on like the side of TikTok you're on as well, because like certain TikToks are more of a performative aspect. Like you see like dancing or like trends or certain types of filters. That's very much like people giving different takes on one singular trend. But then like people who just broadcast their lives on TikTok have no fear of death or consequences.
Or
And
God.
yeah, and I'm just like,
They're
damn,
just out there doing it.
this is
It's like, oh
such
shit.
like this is a thing that I am witnessing in my current time.
Yeah. I feel like TikTok has like the same chaotic energy of like early YouTube.
Yeah. Oh my
You know
god.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's the renaissance of that sort of that feral unhinged humor where you're kind of like watching a car crash and it's horrifying, but you cannot
Yeah,
look
no.
away.
I feel like YouTube has become so corporate, so there's a new outlet every once in a while where
Yeah.
people go. And I think TikTok is that currently, but TikTok just got bought by Walmart,
Yeah.
so I'm definitely not using it.
No,
I wasn't using it before, but I'm definitely not using it now.
I never had a TikTok. I would just
Yeah.
watch the TikToks my friends would send me or like see the compilations posted to YouTube and I would just have them on in the
Yeah.
background.
There is one TikTok that sticks with me no matter what.
Yeah.
And it is these three um, women after a wine tasting,
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
and they're just like yelling at each other, and the like girl who's filming, she's just trying to get a hold of her wine glass, and it's just going all over the fucking place. That is
She
the
like
best goddamn TikTok I have ever seen.
these two they've obviously all been and experienced a wine tasting and it's like that after party of a wine
They are
tasting.
all very drunk, like
Yeah, but
super drunk,
she
like just
spills
smashed.
that wine glass all over another woman's purse and no one says anything. Like they just
What says
continue their
anything?
argument like nothing's happened.
Yeah.
It has almost the same energy as the lipstick in my Valentino white bag. Like
Except if the mom was too
except if
fucking
the mom was
smashed to
sloshed.
notice.
Yeah. I'm just like, what happened after this? I am invested in this narrative, and I'd like to see how this shook out.
See, that's what I mean. Is TikTok definitely has this narrative? Okay, we've it's just speaking of narrative, we've lost the plot a lot.
Oh no, yeah, we sure have.
We've lost the plot, sure.
No, but I feel like TikTok is a good way to put this, just because the things that happen with the Frogman, I feel like would be shit people would record and put on the internet
I
if the
was gonna
internet
say,
existed
do you
in
think the
1950.
Frogman is on TikTok?
I hope so, because I'm gonna give you drop some cool fun facts on you here. I
I love
think
fun facts.
half of the people in the sightings that are relevant to the Frogman are not named. They have requested to not be named. And I think that they are valid in doing so because the reports they give they come out like the reports that are given come out like a shit post.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say it. It comes out like a shit post because if you imagine this happening, I could see all of this stuff happening in like a 90s cartoon. Like, no
Yeah.
doubt. Like a
All
90s
right.
cartoon that would have been on Adult Swim, like later in the evening. So,
All right. Yeah, like fucking Robot Chicken or something.
oh,
I don't. Was that a
absolutely.
show?
I'm pretty sure.
I have a hazed memory of staying up late, and like kind of having those cartoons on in the background when I waited for Naruto to come on because it came on at midnight.
I was not allowed to watch uh anything but PBS when I was younger.
Oh,
So I am missing a lot of the culture of that time period.
that's okay. I watched just like a shit ton of Naruto. If we wanted to do a Naruto podcast, it's all I'm saying. I have a lot of information on
I have
Naruto.
never seen an episode of Naruto.
Save yourself the trouble. Don't. It's a
I
great show. It's got a lot of cool things in it, but it is so
I
goddamn long now.
yeah. Cuz like a lot of people were like Naruto's my gateway anime to watching other stuff,
Yeah.
you know? Fruits Basket was mine. And that's such a weird first one, I know. But like it was what they had on Netflix, so I watched it and then that was it, I guess.
See, I think your first anime really like sets the tone for the other anime you watch.
Yeah.
For me, my first one was actually not Naruto, but it was Inuyasha.
That's a okay, Inuyasha's a good show.
Good show.
It's a
Good
good
show.
show.
I watched it. They aired it also on like Cartoon Network like late night, and I would
Yeah.
watch Inuyasha, and then after that they stopped airing it, and they started airing Naruto.
Yeah.
And then
Cause
I started watching Naruto, and then I watched all of it. And I tried to rewatch, like, to get fully caught up on it.
yeah,
I rewatched all of it. And usually when I binge TV shows, it takes me like a day or two, or maybe a week at most. It
Naruto's
took
a
me
commitment.
6 goddamn months.
Yeah, that's a commitment.
It took me so long.
Because when I was looking at starting to get into anime when I was in middle school, and we had just gotten Netflix. And so my friends who were watching stuff at the time told me that the first anime I should watch should have been Black Butler. And
Mm, not a good. I wouldn't
I
say don't watch that as your first one.
I tried and I cried. Like
Yeah,
I was
no.
so afraid because I was literally my previous exposure to television before this had literally just been PBS.
Oh
And they
no.
were like, go to Black Butler, and that is a culture shock, I will tell you what. uh and
Yeah.
then they were like, maybe we should dial it back, try Fruits Basket instead. And so I watched Fruits Basket, liked it, and then they told me that I should watch Ouran High School Host Club,
Oh boy.
which I feel like tells people more than it should about me. And I watched it, and because they were like, "Oh, we wanted to go." You know that there's a big anime convention in
Yeah,
Ohio. There's a
Ohio
few of them.
Con.
Yeah, and
I've
so
been. I love it. It's a great
yeah,
time.
they had wanted to
First time I
go.
went, I cosplayed as Superboy.
Hell yeah,
Yeah. That
because
was
that
back when I had defined muscles.
oh look, quarantine got everybody good. All right,
Man, what got me was stop being sports.
because I had wanted to get into cosplay because I liked costuming. So my
Mhm.
friends were like, "Hey, we want to do Ouran High School Host Club for OhioCon. Uh, will you make the costumes?" And I was like, "Sure," but I haven't seen the show at all. So they were like, "Fuck, you gotta watch the show and then make these costumes." And so I did that,
That's cool.
and
Okay,
it
well,
was
I think
wild.
it is it is due time we talk about this frog lad.
Absolutely.
Because it is about 20 minutes into this episode,
Uh
and
oh.
we have mentioned it in passing, is what I
Okay.
will say.
So, for those of you who are still with us, the Frogman
Thank
is
you. You know what? For those of you
thanks.
still with us, thank you.
Uh,
Had to get that out of the system first. You
oh
you know
god.
how it is.
Yeah. We took a detour through TikTok and anime, and now we're back at the Frogman. Uh, so actually, you know what? That tracks with the chaotic energy that this man gives off. Uh,
Yeah, tell me about when, who, how, where, how did this boy come to be
so
be known?
he's sort of localized in Loveland, Ohio. People only tend to see him on specific like outskirt roads, near rivers and things. So basically,
Makes sense.
yeah, he's a frogman. He lives near
He's
water.
a frog man.
So the first
Frogs aren't like
sighting,
toads. They can't stay away from water, you know.
they're what?
Frogs need like to be in a body of water, whereas
Yeah,
toads don't.
at least for a little bit. They're amphibians.
Amphibious.
Amphibious. Uh, so the first sighting of these boys was in 1955 by a traveling salesman who was sort of driving alone on a road late at night on the outskirts of Loveland, Ohio. And as he's driving, he notices off on the side of the road three humanoid figures sort of standing together. And as he gets closer, he notices that they have leathery skin and frog faces. So, like the bug eyes, the little frog snout thing, and like frog
Hmm.
like hands. And so, as he's driving towards them, he claims he saw them like have a little conversation. And then one of the frogs straight up brandished a stick or wand over their head and shot out sparks. The
Dude, he's a
salesman,
fucking wizard.
yeah. And so the salesman understandably flees the scene, and the frogs were never discovered.
Oh my god.
So this does read like a witches has cursed someone, and they're trying desperately to figure out how to return to their human forms.
This, do you ever watch The Sword and the Stone?
Yeah, I did.
Remember that battle where the two, like Merlin and God, what's their name? The other sorcerer.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're turning each other into animals, um, and fighting each other. This kind of gives me that vibe where, uh, someone was in a cool wizard battle and got turned into a frog, and that is, and their friends also got turned into frogs, and now they're deliberating, trying to figure out how to not be frogs anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It
that's what I got. That's what I'm bringing to the table.
I mean, it really does read like that. It reads like I don't know if you've ever watched any of like Fraggle Rock or like the Jim Henson-ish kind of things like Dark Crystal and all that.
hmm
The description of these and the sort of like magical aura that they give off in this sighting reminds me very much of like those type of shows.
This is Magic the Gathering.
Is it really? Oh shit.
I'm pretty sure.
Wait, when was the hang on, let me look this up.
Is this traveling salesman a card salesman for
When
Magic the
was
Gathering? Because I'm pretty sure I do have a card with this exact instance on it of three frog
Okay.
men.
Magic the Gathering was invented or was debuted in August of 1993, so probably not Magic the Gathering. Let me
Mm.
try.
All I'm saying is it does very much have that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, that
You know, that kind of like,
something magical has gone
wouldn't it
horribly
be
wrong.
fucking crazy if this
Like,
cool magical thing was happening?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, definitely has that kind of energy, and
absolutely.
I'm here for it. I'm sold.
Uh, because like this sort of instance, just I understand why he is unnamed. Imagine going
Yeah,
to the police
yeah.
and giving this report. You know full well this man probably had some type of substance in his system and he didn't want to
Oh
say
yeah.
anything. Because nobody is going to be out that late. And, like, it's such a weird thing to happen and to, like, tell
It's
people
so
about
weird.
it.
Okay, can I ask you? The thing that gets me about this was
Absolutely.
that they were conversing about something. What do you
Yeah.
think they're talking about?
Part of me wonders if, because he's like, he saw them converse for a while. Did he see their
Yeah.
mouths move and how did they move?
How did they?
You think they moved
I
like
just
little Kermit the Frog puppet heads?
I
Like,
hope to God they did.
I hope so. They
I
probably.
really just want to know what they were talking about.
I really hope they were just like, watch me fucking scare this dude. Boom. Like,
Do you think I could shoot sparks out of this stick? Oh fuck yeah, dude! I think you could shoot sparks out of this stick. All right, I'm gonna fucking shoot sparks out of this stick at that guy over there and see what happens.
but it is funnier to imagine that they're not speaking in. Would it be funnier if they're speaking in like proper English or like frog noises?
I think it. I I don't know.
Like
I think
you
it'd be
walk
funnier
over,
if you just like walk up to
yeah.
that conversation happening and you hear it like a normal conversation. And then you like look up from your phone or whatever and it's just three fucking frogmen like oops.
Am
Hey,
I
he was not supposed to see this.
am I interrupting? Should I go? Like I'll excuse myself.
Talking about what bugs are good.
Bugs
Hey,
are
have you
good.
tried beetles? Yeah,
Nah,
beetles
dude.
fucking slap, man. Maybe this
Beef
is where all the bees are going.
to the frogmen. I don't think
Yeah,
bees
the
would be
frogmen
super
are just.
tasty though. I have to imagine. Or is it like eating a spicy pepper?
Dude, I don't think the bee would sting you if you've eaten it. Maybe they're just like honey. Maybe they taste like honey and pollen.
Oh, that's possible. I feel like getting anywhere. I like bees. I really do. But I feel like attempting to eat a bee is just such a bad idea that my brain won't let me process it.
Hey, folks, don't eat bees.
Another disclaimer I feel like we didn't have to make.
Didn't have to make it, but in case the frogmen are listening, guys, fucking stop.
I hope you're ready
Stop
for
eating
some
these
more
bees.
I hope you're ready for some more PSAs when it comes to the rest of this episode, bud.
Oh no. Hey, did they perchance break our PSA from last time
Do they
when we
ever?
said don't
Do
hit cryptids with your car
do they ever? Do
or
they
shoot
ever?
them? Oh God. All right, tell me about it.
All right.
I
So
want to hear
on
about this.
so then immediately after this. So this is the first sighting is the 1955 sighting. Then we
Uh
go
huh.
into 1972, right, which is our second relevant sighting. It's this unnamed police officer who was requested to be unnamed, God bless him, who was driving on the outskirts of Loveland and saw what he thought was a dog crouched by the side of the road. The animal then darted out in front of the car, and as it was icy, the officer slammed on the brakes and skidded his car a little bit. As he's recovering from the shock, the headlights fell onto the ground in front of him, in which there's a crouching frog like creature, which then stood up onto two legs, walked off the road, hopped the guardrail, and disappeared into the river.
And which river is that?
The Ohio River, I believe.
Oh, so like the river.
The river. Yeah,
The river. Okay.
the river.
Um.
It's either the Ohio River, but it might be the Little Miami, but I'm pretty sure it's the Ohio River. Oh, the Miami River. Yeah, that's on me.
Okay.
I can do
Um.
geography.
That the weirdest part to me about this sighting is that it happened in the winter, and we all know frogs hibernate.
It wasn't, I think it was in March was the sighting. So it's
Okay.
not quite like it's the
Well,
last frame
I'm
freeze.
just saying, there's another animal that hops. They hop onto guardrails all the time. Do you know what creature that is, Sid?
If you're gonna tell me that the goddamn Loveland Frogman is a bird, are you gonna? Are you gonna look me in the eyes and tell me that?
Yeah. Hold on. Make eye contact. Is a bird.
No.
Look, all I'm saying is maybe it's early morning. He's driving, on a patrol back to the
Well,
station. A fucking bird is crouched there,
I was gonna ask
hops onto
you.
the rail. You don't know?
Yeah,
Maybe?
maybe. I was gonna I was gonna ask you,
Yep.
at what point do you transfer from late at night to early morning? Because all of these sightings happen in between 1 and 3 a.m.
I think late at night is 1 to 3.
Okay.
I think, once California hits 1 at night, it's the latest at night you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I do my timetables. I think 4 in the morning is starting to get early morning. Cuz I wouldn't say like 3 in the morning.
Is early morning?
Yeah, I'd say like 4 is early morning, and then 5 is like still early. I think yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's like 1 to 3 late night, 4 to 6 early morning, 7 a respectable time to get up. 7 to 10 respectable time to get up.
Yeah.
And then after that it's afternoon.
Yeah.
That's the rest of the day.
I'm following. I'm following.
And then evening is when the sun sets.
All right. I'm down with that.
That's my timetable.
So these sightings all happen late at night then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Cuz to me, all of these late night sightings really does sort of read like somebody who's just exhausted having a hallucination. Uh
Yeah, I'm pretty exhausted and I have not seen a frog, so
yeah.
I'm still holding out on that one.
But you are not in the 1970s is the thing.
Oh
And
fuck, that's true.
Lord knows what happened in the 1970s.
They were just a bunch of fucking frogs tricking people.
Yeah,
Like, oh, we're a
absolutely.
hallucination. It's like, actually, I think you're a frog.
Actually, I think you're just a weird looking frog. That's what I think. I'll tell you what. Uh,
Now I did hear about recently,
mm,
like one of the largest frogs ever found.
yeah,
Reportedly, people say it's fake, but
they say the frog is
I
fake.
liked, yeah. So it's a taxidermied frog, and it was said that it was 3 feet long,
All right,
um, and like 80 pounds or something like that.
80 pounds. Good God. Yeah, that's about the size of this boy. They said anywhere from
And
70 to 90.
the a miner found this frog, um, near
Where?
his fucking hut or whatever that he was living, his like cabin or something.
Yeah.
And apparently he kept this frog as a pet until it died in a dynamite accident, and then
What
he
the?
had it taxidermied.
That's so metal, and I love it. How do
No,
I?
that's
How do
why I
I
love
be
to
that guy?
think that's real. I wish I don't
I
know.
wish I were
I'm
him. I want
trying
to be him.
goals honestly.
I mean, I don't think I could be a miner. I've already aged out of that bracket, but 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 um, like
Man, the terrible levels of that joke are washing over me right now, and
the fact that I said I don't be, yeah.
like afterglow. What's the opposite of that?
Regret. Uh,
Is that what that is?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I made the joke though. You just have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I just want to be that guy. Imagine having a cool frog as a pet. Like imagine having like a dog-sized frog as a pet.
Sucks that it died in a dynamite accident, though.
I want to know how you taxidermy something that dies in a dynamite accident, because usually when you say dynamite accident, it does imply kaboom.
It does. I don't. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you, because apparently this thing A died in a dynamite accident. Uh, B was then taxidermied.
I How do
Um,
you taxidermy a frog?
see.
They don't
There's
have
so
like,
much that's coming up here that I just do not understand.
how do you
And
do
then
that?
and then it was donated to a museum. Um, and they still claim to have the like world's largest frog, right?
Which museum took this thing?
I don't remember. I read it in an article that came across my like feed, and I was like, God, this is beautiful. Um, and it lives in my mind rent free. Anyway,
Okay,
yeah.
so
So then they challenged the museum. They were like, "This is not real. This is not a real frog." And the
yeah.
museum said, "You could. We've done tests on it. It's real." And people were like, "Can we do tests?" And they were like, "No."
Can we do tests? No, you may not. Thanks for
No.
asking. It's like no with the little heart emoji right after it. No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cheeky little fucks. No.
no.
You may not.
Uh, I did just look
Oh.
this up. Amphibian taxidermy is possible, just
Oh.
incredibly difficult.
Yeah,
There's a.
apparently this man did it alone in his cabin, which I am not buying.
I'm not buying that. I am going to tell you though that there is a frog taxidermy museum called Froggyland. Uh,
Interesting.
and
Don't know that I'm necessarily a fan of that.
I am probably not going to go just because taxidermy makes me a little bit uncomfortable. It is an incredibly respectable profession, but I don't like things staring at me,
Yeah.
be they alive or dead. I don't like it. Uh, the other day I was walking through just sort of this nature preserve area, and there was just a whole bunch of deer just hanging out. And I don't like when they look at me either. I don't trust them. I think they're shady.
Yeah. I don't trust taxidermy at all.
I don't trust deer. I don't, yeah.
Don't trust deer.
I don't trust deer.
Just in general.
Well, I don't trust deer, and I don't trust a lot of geese. I think that they want me dead. Uh,
Now geese, that's True.
Deer, I don't trust simply because I think they're too stupid to know any better. Uh, and so I kind of have the same relationship with deer emotionally that I do with like a petulant toddler who wants to throw things real bad. Like I'm gonna turn
Hmm.
around and they're gonna throw that thing. So I have to keep my eyes on them, or else they're gonna do something bad, or that they'll yeah. So you gotta make eye contact with deer and then just slowly walk away. Don't
I
trust them.
feel like deer are just stupid as all fuck.
They are, but I love them
As someone
dearly.
who might love them dearly.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, so as someone whose uncle has a farm
Hmm.
and we uh we let our dogs out into the yard on the farm,
Hmm.
and there were some deer at the other end, and they all like gracefully hopped the fence, and then one of them ran like smack dead on into a tree.
Incredible. I love them.
Fucking gorgeous,
Love them.
beautiful, graceful
Creatures of the woods, princes of the forest.
creatures. Yeah, fucking fairies
Absolutely. I
just
think
out there banging their heads into trees.
just bonk. Like I any type of big prey animal, I by default do not trust at least a little bit because I think that they are too dumb for their own good.
Hmm.
I have this relationship with cows. I have this relationship with horses. Uh, even though horses, I don't know if horses are technically a prey animal, but I
They
don't
certainly should not ever be a predator animal. Have you
know.
seen those things?
I just don't trust them because I'll turn my back on a horse for a second and they will have hopped a fence and are doing something stupid. Like you gotta keep your eyes on them, and also cows because cows are dumb, but there's a lot of them in one go, so their propensity for stupid increases tenfold. Because there's a lot of them. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I feel like frogmen tend to get uh at least a little
Stupider the more
smarter
there are?
when they're on their own. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Because,
because
I
the
mean, the group of three that we discussed did shoot stick sparks at a man,
yeah,
for which all, for what we have known, might have been the dynamite that caused the accident. You know what I
that's
mean?
that's a good point. I hadn't considered.
Maybe that was the dynamite accident.
As the dynamite accident was just the absolute.
There were
They
three of these
just
frogs, and then there was a dynamite accident.
yeah.
Oh no. All
Good
right, we
God.
didn't talk about. You told me that someone broke the PSA that we put out, and I don't think we've gotten to that one yet. So I think we
Well,
should mosey on over.
the second sighting was the sighting where the frogman had gotten hit by the car. He was actually successful in hitting him with the car.
Oh, he did get hit.
He did
Okay,
get
I
hit.
thought you said that braked.
He did get
Or,
hit. He tried to brake. He did bump him a little bit.
okay,
Uh,
well, just a little bump is fine.
just a little bump. And then we go to our third relevant sighting, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. It was also by a police officer who did choose to be named. Their name is Mark Matthews. 2 weeks after the second sighting, he thought he saw an animal by the side of the road late at night, roughly around the same spot as the first one. He originally thought it was a carcass until the animal lurched forward into a crouched position. He then proceeded to unholster his revolver and shoot at it.
Oh no, Mark.
Um,
Mark,
the
no.
So it doesn't kill the creature, as it
Oh,
then looks at him warily, got up again, hobbled over to the guardrail, and hopped it to return to the river. Uh, Investigation of the guardrail the next day showed claw marks where the creature had scrambled over it. And I'm going to take this point to mention, have you ever done a grow a frog kit?
no.
My friend, when I was in elementary school, did one and did in fact end up with a frog that had claws.
Oh,
I don't know if it was supposed to. Uh, but
See, I'm gonna be honest. Uh we have a summer place that we go in Maine every summer,
mhm,
and I used to catch frogs up there a lot.
yeah.
I cannot say that I've ever seen one with claws on it.
Uh,
Gonna be honest.
there is a type of frog that does have claws. I had to look
Okay.
it up. It's called the hairy frog or African clawed frog.
So this bad boy is in Africa, not Ohio.
Well, this bad boy is in Ohio. This frog, particularly, is in Africa, and they are kind of scary because they actually do have sort of hair like things. They're known as also as the horror frog or Wolverine frog. Uh, because
Wow.
it breaks its own bones to produce the claws.
That's terrible.
So
That's terrible. No thanks.
that makes me uncomfortable. It's also known as the Wolverine frog just because it like yeah, breaks the bones to have claws protrude through the skin.
Yeah, because Wolverine, the character, famously, like, that's how he's able to do it. It's because he has the healing factor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his claws would rip apart his hands.
Yeah. No,
It's
I
pretty,
don't
yes.
I don't I don't. You can look at this thing and it's at least a little bit uncomfortable.
I'll
Um
tweet a picture out for so everyone can be uncomfortable with this.
yeah, no. I need to figure out how big this boy is. Cuz it could be that they were like people were turned into these frogs. Again, I do keep coming back to the idea that these guys have just been cursed by some witch.
It really gives off that vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah. So they're about 4 to 5 inches long, 3 to 5 inches long across both male and female frogs.
Are you talking about the African frog now?
Yeah, I am. Just
The hairy
mentioning it.
frog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, their name is Robustus. That's cute. Because
Is
they're
it?
robust little boys.
Um, yeah, anyway. Yeah, frogs are kind of weird creatures.
I
When I
like
was catching
frogs.
frogs in Maine, I one time caught two bullfrogs, and one was much bigger than the other. And
Oh?
then I went back to check on them later, and I was like, there's only one bullfrog in here. And I
No.
asked my family, did you guys let one out? And then I looked back at the bigger bullfrog. He had a little tiny frog leg sticking out of his mouth.
They'll do that. They will.
They will.
With very little hesitation. Uh,
Very little.
very little. Because, like,
He
frogs.
just did it. Frogs are fucked.
Frogs are interesting. Uh, because, like, I want to mention this as we mention this frogman behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It tanked a bullet. Like it just took the shot. If this thing
Yeah.
truly is a human that's been turned into a hairy frog, the healing factor could contribute to the fact that we just have like a Wolverine frogman just sort of vibing in Loveland,
It's
Ohio.
Wolverine, but if he got his powers from the hairy frog.
Yeah,
Man, maybe there are fucked. I've not seen. I've been to the Ohio River. I've not seen anything like this.
I haven't
Um,
either. But I will come back to sort of they revisited both of these officers' accounts at a later date, and talked to the officer, and they speculate that it's probably just a large lizard, specifically an iguana who is missing a tail.
Because these were seen very close to each other,
Yeah,
two
2 weeks
weeks apart.
difference in the sightings. Yeah,
So it could be like someone got sick of their cool iguana
and released it
and just
during yeah,
yeah let it out.
uh, which is highly possible. Uh, and then I want to talk very briefly about the 2016 sighting that is
Oh,
arguably it is 100% a hoax. But it is if it isn't fucking fun. So basically, you remember when Pokemon Go was a big thing that everybody was playing?
yeah. It's
Right.
still apparently a very. I know people that still play.
I still play Pokemon Go. But like when everyone was playing it at once, and it was like a
Yeah.
worldwide phenomenon. Uh, so basically, this couple was playing Pokemon Go, and they're out looking for Pokemon near a river, and they take a picture of the Loveland frog. Right?
In the background of their
They see
Pikachu
it in the
photo?
in the background of like a Pokemon Go photo. Uh,
Interesting.
and they had to specify that they saw this frogman in the water, not in the game Pokemon Go. This was like an actual frog. They're like, no, it's not a Pokemon. This is a real thing that we saw. Trust me. And then, so they submit this in the newspapers. They're like, hey, we saw the Loveland frogman. Like, here's our picture. Like, there is a picture of this thing. And it's very funny because it does just look like a frog with its hands on its hips with giant glowing white eyes.
I'm gonna look it up.
You gotta look it up. It was mid-August 2016. They were playing Pokemon Go in Cincinnati, so people are like, well, it's not in Loveland, so it can't be the Loveland frog. But then there's like a little bit more investigation that goes into it, and they're like, did you really see the Loveland frog? You saw it like in a place that isn't necessarily like the place where everybody else has seen these frogmen. Are you sure that this is the true Loveland frog? And then it's later revealed that it was just a guy from a high school in a homemade frog costume.
That's amazing.
Which is very, very funny, and I like that a lot.
There's a picture. I found the picture. I found the image that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And there's one with Kermit the Frog photoshopped in next to him, and it's
Good.
very good.
It's like, this is a homemade frog costume. This person put time and effort into making this frog costume to take a photo with his hands on his hips standing in a lake. And I love that. I think that's so good. Also, cool fun fact, there's a Loveland Frog musical.
Excuse me?
Yeah, there's a Loveland Frog musical. It is bluegrass themed, and I bet you'll never guess what the title is.
Is it Rent, but the Loveland Frog? I'm sorry, I tried to think of a funnier name, but that's the best I could come up with.
Rent, but the Loveland Frog is in it. It's hot damn, it's the Loveland Frog.
You know, that's pretty good.
Hot damn has an exclamation point after it, and it's the Loveland Frog has an exclamation point after it too.
I was really trying to, I'm gonna be honest, I was really trying to think of a musical that I could make like a fun joke.
Yeah.
Off the name with, but I don't know that there's, like, think about all the musicals you know that came out recently. There's like Waitress, Hamilton. Like, they're all fucking one word things.
I'm gonna say Mean Girls, but the Loveland Frog instead of Regina George.
Mean Frogs. Fuck.
Mean Frogs.
Edit that one in earlier.
Mean Frogs, Heathers and Bogs.
Fuck.
Very good.
Well, I think that on that lovely musical note, it is time to end this podcast.
Yeah.
Not the whole podcast, just this episode.
Just this one.
Thank you all for tuning in. If you would like more content from us, there's a couple ways you can get that itch scratched. And one is our Twitter, which is @OnCryptids. We tweet about when we go post our episodes. We tweet things that we talk about in the episodes, like this lovely picture of Kermit the Frog and the Frogman. That I've decided is what I'm gonna tweet for this week.
Nice.
We tweet, just some random stuff about how we're feeling. Like Twitter do. And we tweet when we go live on Twitch. And Sid, could you tell them about that?
I'd absolutely love to. So if you guys want to get some live content with us in it, every Thursday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m., we go live on our Twitch channel. It's the Midcast, spelled TheMydCast. And that's every Thursday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We play Minecraft usually, and we just kind of hang around and talk. If you guys want to be a part of us building our cool Minecraft strip mall, including the
Yeah,
Cracker
we've got a
Barrel,
Cracker Barrel, and
a joint hot topic in Claire's,
yeah,
uh,
we've
and
also got the cube. You know that we got a lot of things going on in this Minecraft world.
yeah, and we'd love
Uh,
for you guys to be a part of it. So if you want to come and swing by, uh,
yeah, so come join us live on Twitch every Thursday from 8:30 to 10:30. Um,
yeah,
and we want to say thank you again for coming out and listening. If you liked, please feel free to share, leave a review, or just tell someone you think who would like this about it. Um, and until next week,
we'll
we'll
see
see
y'all
y'all in
in
the
the
woods.
woods.
All right.